The following portion of Showcase is sponsored by Trustice Law Group. Do you know what the process is when someone gets charged with a crime and how Virginia laws may be different from other places? Well, joining us with answers from Trustice Law Group is Shameka Rhoades, CEO and Managing Attorney, to tell us how this works. All right, can you help us walk through what actually happens from the moment someone's charged? What is that process and what should they expect?
So they will get charged, and depending on whether they are given a charge or a summons, they will be taken down to the police station, to the magistrate's office, and they will either be given a bond right there on the spot, or they will be held over for a judge to do an arraignment. And an arraignment is where a judge will say, here's what you're charged with, and here's another court date, and if you need an attorney, we can appoint you one. If not, you'll need to hire an attorney.
Okay, so then how does that bond and bail process work in Virginia?
So bond and bail are essentially the same thing, and it works with the court will determine how much money needs to be put down for you to get out, or they can give you what's called a personal recognizance bond, and it's basically where you just sign your name saying, I'm going to appear in court, and if I don't appear, I'm going to pay this set amount of money to the court for not appearing.
Gotcha.
But if it is a secured bond, someone would have to put down money, or sometimes people put up property like homes or cars that have that amount of equity in them in order for the person to come out. Now, I will warn, if someone puts up their house or their car and the person does not come back to court, they will seize those items to get the money that is owed. Okay,
so you want to also be careful if you are putting up your own things to help someone else out,
yes,
right? Knowing that could go away if they don't show up in court.
You need to really believe that this person is going to come back to court.
Yes, for sure. Now, what is the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony charge?
So misdemeanor charges are less serious in the court system. You can only get up to 12 months in jail on a misdemeanor charge.
Okay.
Felonies, you get a year in prison upwards to however much. Now, I know that sounds weird because 12 months is a year, but in legal terms, 12 months you would get in like a local jail, and it starts a year in the Virginia DOC.
Gotcha. Now, when you say that people think a misdemeanor, it's not as big of a deal, but there's still very serious consequences.
There are. If you are convicted of a crime, people think reckless driving is, it's just a speeding or driving ticket. It is a class 1 misdemeanor. So if you try to get a job after being convicted of reckless driving that requires you to have no convictions, you won't get that job because a class 1 misdemeanor is a conviction.
Wow.
If you are trying to get clearance, security clearance, you will have issues because that is it's not just a speeding ticket, it is a class 1 misdemeanor, and it carries up to 12 months in jail.
I had no idea. That's very surprising information. Let me ask you, should someone speak to the police before they have legal representation? Does that order matter?
It does matter, and they should not, because if they make a statement to the police, your attorney is stuck with whatever you said. We cannot now say, no, we have this defense, or it was this. Whatever you have said is now what we have to work with. So as soon as someone is charged, they need to seek representation immediately and do not speak to the police prior to getting that representation.
Does that mean if you're guilty or not guilty, it doesn't
matter?
Okay, I think that's important because sometimes you think I'm innocent, I can just roll with it myself.
No.
All right, great legal advice for us today. And if you want to learn more about Trustice Law Group, you can scan the QR code on your screen to schedule that consultation. You can also visit trustice.us, follow on social media, or give them a call at 804-570-1827. Thank you so much for all this great advice today. We appreciate that. And the preceding portion of Showcase was sponsored by Trustice Law Group.